colour mixing. Some people get a little bit unstuck with colour mixing because things sometimes go a little bit wrong. One of the very common complaints that I get is, oh, my colours are really muddy, and also unexpected colours. The thing about mixing colours is that there's a really simple way of doing this. And as with everything, it just takes a little bit of practice. And once you understand it, you will be able to mix colours seamlessly. It's just about understanding the basic principles, and that's where the colour wheel comes in. Now, I've mentioned the colour wheel in workshops that I've done, and people have just raised their eyes to heaven because they think, oh, not the colour wheel again. I love the colour wheel. I think it's your best friend. The first tip I'm going to give you, and I will say this throughout quite a lot of my videos, is to keep your colours clean and not muddy. Use lots of brushes so that you don't clean them out in between making a mark. That keeps the colours fresh and clean. Your water doesn't get muddy, so you're not mixing muddy water in with your lovely fresh colours. So having clean water, really important, and you keep your water clean by having lots of brushes. So you don't really need to wash out lots of brushes. You just use different brushes, lots of different brushes. That works really, really well. And the other key is understanding what colours go together to make other colours. Now, you probably all know there's 3 primaries: red, yellow, and blue. I did have a conversation with my husband about this. He said, no, it's green. Green's the other primary colour. No, Joe, it isn't. But anyway, those are the 3 primaries. And from those 3 primaries, you can mix pretty much any colour that you want. However, there are different shades of primaries. So you get, for example, with yellow, you might get lemon yellow, which is quite an acidy yellow, a greenish yellow, or a yellow with a greenish tinge at any rate. And then you'll get something like cadmium yellow, medium, which is erring towards the warm type of yellow, a little bit orangey. And if you mix those together with, say, 1 blue, you'll get 2 very, very different greens. So you have to understand the shades that you start off with. It's all sounding terribly complicated, isn't it? I'm going to try and make this easy for you. I'm going to start by showing you how you mix colours to make up a colour wheel. Do this as an exercise for yourself. It is fun. You do learn a lot, and you do mix some gorgeous colours. And that's the whole point, really, isn't it? So stay watching, and I'll try and explain the mysteries of colours. Now, you've probably heard of the colour wheel. You start off with 3 primaries: red, yellow, and blue. They're very vibrant, packed with colour. So I'm just going to paint a little bit of the red on this. Nothing fancy. With a different brush, I'm going to paint some yellow, a third brush, some blue. Then we can start mixing colour, and that's where it gets exciting. And this is also where it can go very badly wrong, where your colours will start getting muddy. And it's where you need to have lots of brushes. So if I mix red and yellow together, I'm going to get orange. So I'm just going to use this brush. Already, as you can see, I've got some red in my yellow, so I've got to be really careful with this. And I'm going to put that right between the 2 of those, and I've got this beautiful tangerine orange. If I mix red with blue, a bit of red, and actually I've got a bit of blue on there anyway, mix that together, I get a lovely violet colour. That's just beautiful. I'm going to mix yellow and blue together and just try and get a clean bit of yellow here. And a bit of blue, not too much. Lovely green. Lovely spring-like green. So those are my secondaries. What happens next? So we can now start mixing a primary with a secondary and see what we get. This is our secondary violet here. And we can add a little bit more blue to that and see what happens. It becomes more like a blueberry colour. Now we're starting to see some really, really gorgeous colours emerging. And what if we mix some of the blue, clean bit of blue, with some of this green? We're getting another gorgeous green, a much more bluey green. See how many brushes I've got now. I'm trying to keep the paint as clean as I can. So let's mix yellow. Well, I've already lost I've lost my secondary, so let's mix up some more of it. That was blue and yellow, so let's just add more yellow to this and we should get back to that colour. That looks fairly close. No, it's slightly darker. Wow, just shows, doesn't it? It's fairly close, but a little bit darker. So we'll mix that green with pure yellow. Let's just do that little corner there. See what we've got here. Yeah, it's just a lighter green. And we can mix the orange with the yellow. Gorgeous. Can even put a bit more yellow in that. And then if we mix the orange with more red, we're going to come to fiery blood orange kind of colour. Finally red with the violet. So I'm going to add a little bit, probably a bit more red to that actually. Maybe a bit more red? I think so. So what have we got here? We've got a primary, which is red. This is blue, another primary, and yellow. And between those we've got secondaries. So that's green, violet, and orange. And then we have the tertiaries in between. Tertiaries have got a lot more colours mixed into them. So they're starting to look quite subtle and really quite beautiful. And if you keep mixing your colour, if I start mixing all of these together, what do I get? Yeah, brown. That's when you get your muddy colours, when your brushes get mixed in with lots of colours, which is why it's so important to have lots of different brushes on the go at the same time. These muted colours, though, can be incredibly useful in your work. They make your painting look amazing. It's true. You're going to have to trust me on that one.